Hi guys, this is gsnom.com and I'm here with the Nokia 6.1 review, also known as the Nokia 6 2018, launched in the spring of 2018. It's a mid-range handset that comes after a huge hit. Nokia 6 was hugely sold in China, was a big hit then internationally. And this is the Nokia 6.1. The price tag is around $270 and this feels like a slight improvement from the Nokia 6, the biggest one being in the CPU department. Still a metal phone, still a single camera phone but with size optics. And now let's talk about the design. So it's made of a single block of aluminum. It has those lovely accents we saw on the Nokia 7 Plus, those copper accents, and they can be different in other color versions. Now I would have to say it's a pretty wide phone. You may think that it's not very comfy for one-hand usage. Well, think again, it's actually pretty comfy when it comes to using it with a single hand. It feels a bit too angular. It may feel like it can cut into your palm after a long period of usage. It's well built, it's got a good grip, it's made of premium materials, it's sturdy, measures 8.2 millimeters in thickness, weighs 172 grams. It feels like a smaller Nokia 7 Plus. On the screen front, we got an IPS LCD panel, 5.5-inch Full HD like the predecessor with Gorilla Glass 3 protection. Now, if you want to experience the quality of the screen, we got your usual content here. Okay, so here we go. This is our usual test sample. We have great looking colors, pretty solid brightness, wide view angles, and even the contrast is pretty decent. Now we put the screen under the microscope. We came across RGB stripes pixels, you can see them here. We did a brightness measurement, 396 lux. I would say we're doing fine for the mid-range segment. Now with this value we're able to beat the Nokia 6, which had 380 lux, and also the LG G3 and the Motorola Moto G5. Still we scored below the Xiaomi Mi A1, for example. Pretty good screen. We move further to the CPU, Snapdragon 630. Nokia 6 had a 430. There's also 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM. We have the 3 gigabyte RAM version here, and 32 or 64 gigabytes of storage. We didn't experience any sort of lag or problem with the phone. Actually has a pretty fluid experience, no trace of lag whatsoever, and even the games are able to run fine. We played the Might and Magic Elemental Guardians, which is new, and also Riptide GP Renegade, which is our usual benchmark game. Let's check it out. So to make this short, I'm also going to tell you about the benchmarks of the phone. Aside from the games running fine, I should mention that in Antutu 7 we were able to beat the Motorola Moto X4 and the Xperia XA2, which is actually not bad, but we scored below the HTC U11 Live. In Antutu 6 we were able to beat the Zenfone 3, but scored below the HTC U11 Live again. As you can see, the game looks quite nice. The predecessor also had nice games. And in Geekbench 4 multicore, we beat the Xperia XA2 Ultra, which is a pretty good feat, and also a few Motorola phones, including the Moto X4. Basically, we were around somewhere between the Moto X4 and HTC U11 Live, benchmark-wise. Now, also, we had zero problems with the temperature. We achieved a level of 31.8 degrees Celsius in benchmarks and 35.6 degrees Celsius in games, so the phone keeps pretty cool. Okay, so I'm not just going to leave you hanging, because we also have these values here, as I said before, 35.6, and the other one, let's see it, 31.8. So no overheating here, no trace of it, which is always good news. Now we're done with the performance. Talk about the battery. It's a 3000 mAh unit like the Nokia 6 before it, and we're going to skip straight to the results. So let's see them. We were able to achieve let's see, 9 hours and 22 minutes, which is continuous HD video playback time. Frankly speaking, I expected a bit more. It beats the HTC 10 and OnePlus 2, but scores below the Nokia 6, and it's 9 hours and 58 minutes, as well as the Motorola Moto G5S. In PC Mark, I would say we did actually a bit better. 8 hours 41 minutes is quite good, above the Xperia XZ2 and the Google Pixel 2 XL, which is no small feat, below the Meizu Pro 6 Plus and the Asus Zenfone 5. Charging is rather average, pretty typical, 1 hour and 53 minutes, which is okayish, with a full 1 hour charge of 76%. On the audio front, Nokia 6 had 2 speakers. Nokia 6.1 has only 1 speaker here at the bottom, singular speaker. We have a smart amp and 2 microphones with Ozo technology. The actual experience is, I would say, pretty okay, not much to object. We have a stock equalizer, and this is Google Play Music being put to work. here we are. Okay, let's play some tunes. Here we go. This is it. As you just saw, it's pretty easy to cover the speaker in landscape mode. Other than that, I would say that the volume is quite satisfying. The bass is okay in my book, and for a mid-range phone, it handles itself pretty well. Now, we also did a bunch of decibel meter tests, like this one here. This is Riptide GP Renegade with a value of 102.7 decibels, which is great. It even beats the Nokia 7 Plus and the Galaxy Note 8. And the other tests are those ones, 85.8 decibels. With this one, we beat the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, Nokia 8, scored below the LG G4 though. Okay, so that's it about the speaker. Pretty impressed by it. Too bad we don't have two of them. On the camera front, we got a singular camera here with the promise of Zeiss optics. Also dual tone flash. This is a 16 megapixel shooter able to do 4K video, and up front we got an 8 megapixel shooter and also the promise of dual sight. Basically you capture things with both the front and the back camera. Not going to insist very much on the pictures. You're going to have a full gallery. This is one of the shots that blew me away. I recommend you look at it. It's wallpaper worthy. The phone takes spectacular close-ups and also has some pretty nice colors. As you can see, well calibrated colors, good clarity, and good things all around. Okay, we have a bunch of other shots here, shots of flowers, shots of landscapes, things like that. I would have to say that close-ups are fantastic, great colors. Some of the shots were moved though, I was actually in a rush. Some of the images feel a bit over-processed, like the Galaxy A5 2017 style, and the panorama is rather generous and big. Zoom was weak. And another thing I liked was the bokeh selfie, which was a bit above my expectations. It went a bit above what I expected. So these are the bokeh selfies, which were quite good if you ask me. Things to remember here: the colors, clarity, and bokeh selfies, even though some of the shots I've taken were a bit moved and a bit blurred because I was in a rush. In the end, I would say that this is about 15% better than the predecessor. It's clearly below the Nokia 7 Plus by about 30%. These are daytime shots. We have nighttime shots. They're here and they're a bit dark. The flash kind of spoils the party. We have a purple tint, which is a problem for sure. I would have to say that compared to the daytime shots, these are, I would say, shockingly poor. There is a blue tint and purple tint everywhere, large street halos, some grain, and not many details, so I'm a bit underwhelmed by the nighttime capture. On the video front, the simple fact we have 4K is already a plus. This is one of the videos. Pretty solid microphones, although if you cover them by mistake, you'll achieve some echo. Nice colors, nice exposure setup, and pretty good quality of the 4K video. We did have some problems with the refocus. The stabilization, the electronic one, is virtually non-existent. That's another big no-no. But in general, I would say I was reasonably pleased with this. Too bad for the lack of stabilization. It flickers too much for my liking. Of course, there were no expectations here, but still. And here there are some dynamic range problems. Aside from the 4K filming, maybe some of the colors and bits of the microphone, nothing very impressive here. Oh, and also the zoom was a pleasant surprise. Now these are daytime videos. Keep in mind, once again, affordable price and still able to film in 4K. Nighttime videos, not impressive. Somehow less flicker compared to the daytime, but still happening. Very dark, even for a Nokia 6, very dark. Expected more. And that's about it in a nutshell. That's the experience. Frankly speaking, not as big of a jump from the Nokia 6, especially with the promise of Zeiss. Okay, now it's time to talk about the connectivity, and before I do that, I'm going to access the web browser and give you a taste of the charging of our website and also the virtual keyboard. So as far as the connectivity is concerned, we got GPS, AGPS, GLONASS, BDS, FM radio, NFC, USB Type-C port at the bottom, and we also have Wi-Fi, ABGN, Bluetooth 5.0, 4G LTE category 4. The calls were picture perfect in my view, and we also did a bunch of tests, talking about speed tests, of course. Let's check them out. So here are the values we achieved, quite impressive. On Wi-Fi, 210 Mbps downloads, 25.2 Mbps uploads, and on 4G, 63.t and 21.7 Mbps, and that's about it in the connectivity area. Pretty happy with the Wi-Fi results, which are at a flagship level. The Nokia 6.1 runs stock Android Oreo. It's part of the Android One program, and it's got the typical multitasking with carousel. You can also do split screen if you want, split the screen in two and use the browser and another app, for example, like play music, let's say. Other than that, it qualifies for the Android P update pretty fast. It's got the leftmost home screen with the news, the weather, and so forth. We got here the wallpaper, widgets, and settings for the screen. Everything is stock, vanilla, clean, fluid, no problem. Drop down section with notifications and quick settings with 2 panes. We got notification dots and these extra menus that are achieved like that. And the settings area also includes options for security. You got the fingerprint scanner here at the back, which is quite fast. It has a setup with 8 steps, and it's quickly to unlock and secure your device. And speaking of apps, these are the pre-installed ones. They're just the basic package, nothing extra, just core Google stuff. Google Play, FM radio, phone settings, maps, Gmail, photo, Google, and the Play Store, of course, calculator, calendar, and so forth. These are just the basic ones. Okay, so it's time for the verdict. This is Nokia 6.1. On the Pro side, we took some superb close-ups with this camera. It's got a solid build, solid premium materials, stock software, fast updates in the future, pretty okay display, nice performance. The PC Mark result was good, in my view at least. Loud games, so if you're gunning for games or movies, the speaker will be loud for you. Okay picture colors, nice zoom for the video, and solid bokeh for the selfies. Those are the pros. On the cons, it feels rough in your palms. For sure, video playback should be better, battery-wise, no stereo speakers, some overprocessing of the pictures, weak electronic stabilization, and poor low-light behavior. That would be my impression. And the headphones were also a bit of a letdown. Now, this is a phone that you buy, you spend less than $300, you get 4K video capture, you get nice close-ups, you get Android P pretty fast, clean software, and a pretty solidly built phone with nice accents. It feels like a Motorola Moto G5S rival, a bit of a Moto G6 rival, although it has another generation of CPU inside, and I would even compare it to the, let's say, Samsung Galaxy A5 2017. You can fight that as an equal, but that's about it, and it's also a bit cheaper than that model. It feels like a phone that would get an 8 out of 10 from us. This is it from gsnhome.com. Bye bye.